Hey, it's Sarah Mueller here from Decluttering Club and Early Bird Mom and Declutter My Home. And I am hoping that everyone can hear me. I would love it if someone could give me a thumbs up or a comment, leave a comment if you can hear me, because I just want to make sure that the sound is working okay here. I am really excited to talk to you today about the different stages of decluttering. And this may not be something that you've thought about before, but it's a pretty important concept, and this is how it works. So when you have a lot of clutter in your life and in your home, you might look around and you think, oh my goodness, I have so much to clean up, and it's going to be a real struggle to just get rid of this mess. And what you're doing is you're thinking of where you are right now, which is probably at stage 1, and you're thinking all the way to what a clean house looks like, what a completely decluttered house looks like. And you're saying, I could never get from where I am now to all the way to a clean house. And that is a big mistake. So let me tell you what I'm talking about. So the first stage of decluttering or of, organizing and cleaning up your life is what I call awakening. Okay, I'm gonna take some notes here. So awakening. If you guys can hear me, if you could give me, a thumbs up or a quick comment, that would be super helpful. I would really appreciate that. So awakening, let's see, is the first stage of decluttering. And in awakening, you are starting to notice that you're not happy with the situation and you've got too much stuff. And you might not know what to do about all this stuff, but you realize that you want to make a change, and you're ready and motivated. You could still be pretty overwhelmed. You could be frustrated. You might not know exactly what to do. You might not even have a plan yet, but at least you're ready and you realize that something's got to change. So that's stage 1. As I'm going through these stages, I would love it if you guys would tell me where you find yourself in these particular stages. So that's stage number 1. It's called awakening. And then we have stage number 2, which is called activation. Okay, activation. All right, so let's see if I can try this on here. There we go, activation. Activation is where you're starting to make a change, and maybe you've done some small projects, you have gotten rid of some stuff, you're starting to be excited about the process, and you're realizing, hey, this decluttering thing is pretty cool, and you're starting to get excited about it. And you still have a lot of clutter, and you might still be overwhelmed at times, but on the whole, things are looking a little better. So that is the second stage. Now, stage 3 is what I call execution. Execution. Okay. So stage 1. Again, if you are just joining me, I'm so glad to have you here. I hope you guys can all hear me. Oh, this is really hard. Okay, there we go. Okay, execution is stage 3. And that is where you have gotten one or more big purges done. You are becoming a decluttering machine. You're starting to get organized. You're starting to feel really good about this stuff. And you're putting systems in place so that things are just working a lot better. That's execution. And I think we have a lot of people in our Facebook group, Declutter My Home, that are already in this stage, and they are feeling so good about it. It's a really exciting place to be. And then the 4th stage is what we call freedom. Okay. You guys can see that. Freedom. And that's where everybody wants to be, right? That is where you don't have a lot of clutter in your home. And when clutter does come in, it's so easy to take care of it. And it really doesn't take much time at all. And you're not overwhelmed by it. Or if you are overwhelmed, maybe you have a lot of kids, a big family, the overwhelm is very brief, and it doesn't throw you into like the pit of despair. And you're just able to recover from it very quickly. And you've got lots of systems in place so that you don't have to think about what to do. You don't have to think about, what do I do with the laundry? It just goes and it handles itself. And life just operates very smoothly. Okay, so again, here are the stages. If you are just joining me, I'm really glad to have you here. Ooh, this is hard to do. Okay, so here are the stages again of what I have defined as decluttering. Again, the first one is awakening. Where is it? Awakening, and then activation and execution and freedom. Now, what I haven't told you about yet is that there is a fifth stage, and that is stage 0. Stage 0, and that is where a lot of people are, if they haven't even, thank you, I'm so glad you can hear me. I was a little bit worried there. Stage 0, and that is what we call kind of denial. Really, it's probably a better name for it. I need to come up with a better name, but denial, that is stage 0. So if you haven't started thinking about decluttering, or if you don't care about the mess, then you're in stage 0. So I would like to hear from you guys. What stage are you in here? Okay, so there we go. So again, denial, and probably anybody who's watching this video is not in denial because you're interested in a video on decluttering. But denial is the first stage where you're not interested in doing anything about the clutter. Then the next stage, stage 1, is awakening, where you start to think, I'd really like to do something about this mess. Stage 2 is activation, where you're getting busy and you're starting to do some small projects and you're starting to have some quick wins. Stage 3 is execution. And that is where you're getting busy and things are really going well. And then stage 4 is freedom. And that is where everything is just super easy and operates very smoothly. Now, what I want you guys to know and understand is that you're not going to go from stage 0 or stage 1 all the way to stage 4. That's like a huge jump. And nobody goes from 0 to 60 all at once. And this is one of the roadblocks that people often come up against when they're trying to declutter, because they feel like they should go from the very beginning, from the bottom, all the way up to the top. And that's not how life works. You have to go through each of the stages. So if you think about where you are on this path, then you can think about, okay, what do I need to do to get to the next stage? And as long as you're progressing, and as long as you're eventually going from one stage to the next, then you're on the right path, and you'll eventually get to the further place. And you might not even want to get to the final stage. You might be happy with just going from stage 1 to stage 2 and doing a little bit of a cleanup. Or maybe you're already in stage 3 and you've already done some really big purges, and you're real close to stage 4. So Beth says, working on stage 3, working on a daily basis. Awesome. That is so exciting, isn't it? I mean, I think what we're seeing in our Facebook group, Declutter My Home, is that it is so addictive. And once you feel that freedom that comes with letting go, you want to do it again and again. And you start looking around your house and thinking, what can I get rid of here? Or well, how can I clean this up? And maybe you start getting frustrated with the people in your home because they don't feel the same way that you do. But it's really, it's so addictive, and it's so fulfilling to be able to let go and just enjoy your life, as opposed to being overwhelmed by all your things and all the burden and all the clutter that brings along with you. So I just wanted to encourage you there with that idea. When you're thinking about decluttering, don't imagine necessarily the end result, if that's going to be overwhelming and too far away from you. If you're starting at the very beginning, just figure out what you need to do to get from one stage to the next. I have a graphic that I'm going to share with you guys. I will post the link in the comments after I'm done, and you can take a look at that if you're interested, and see where you fit on the spectrum, on the path from the beginning to being completely free from clutter. There's another thing that I wanted to share with you. And by the way, if you have any comments or questions, please do feel free to pop those in the comments. I'm not able to see all of them. I'm just going to pop over to my Facebook page real quick to see if there's any comments that I have missed, because they're not showing up for me here on the broadcast. Let's see. Okay, we're good. I am running a course this week, and I'm so excited about this. I asked my readers and my Facebook group what was their biggest problem when it came to clutter and organization, and everybody said papers. They said paper clutter is such a nightmare. Bills get lost. It just piles up, and it overwhelms the kitchen and the desk, and it's just a total mess. So I put together a course that walks you step by step through the process to organize your paperwork. And this course is available for this week only. So registration is closing on Friday at midnight Eastern. So I'm going to pop a couple links into the comments for you. Let's see, here we go. Okay, here is a link to the course. There we go. It's at my new website, declutteringschool.com, and you can go there and you can see all about the course. Again, it's called Household Paperwork Made Easy. Let's see, Donna says the frustration is real with my hubby, and yes, school papers are an absolute mess, right? Oh my goodness, I totally agree with. Let's see, I am not able to see that whole, okay. With my hubby, my 6-year-old, my younger brother that lives with us, I get so overwhelmed trying to do it on my own. Sometimes I wait until the house is completely empty. That's a good way to do it, absolutely. Yeah, when people aren't home, then you can focus better. Totally agree with you there. So this is the link to Decluttering School and Household Paperwork Made Easy. And I have a free lesson that I'm going to share with you so you can get a look and get a feel for how that course works. Let's see, let's pop that up there. Can I hide that? Okay, so if you click this link, it's declutteringschool.com paperwork-sneak-peek. If you click that link, then you can go over and you can watch lesson 1 for free. And it's all about how to create a command center, which is the absolute first thing I always recommend to people if you're trying to organize your paperwork, is to go and create a command center, because that's just going to help you be so much more organized. And it's kind of fun too. So that's a really fun thing to do. So there we go. Okay. Did anybody else have any questions? Did you guys, I don't know if you're new to the broadcast or not, but I'd love to hear if you know where you are on the stages of decluttering, if you're in awakening or execution or freedom, if you've made it all the way to freedom and you're just hanging out with us here. I would love to hear about that. Also, if you're not already a member of our Facebook group, Declutter My Home, I would love to have you over there, because we have some awesome stuff that's going on in that group, and people are making amazing changes in their lives, absolutely amazing. And there's so much inspiring stuff going on there every day. People start out, and I think most people start out and they're in stage 1, and they're in the awakening stage, and they're saying, I can't handle it anymore. I don't know what to do, but something's got to change. And they kind of hang out in that stage for a while, and they're reading other people's posts. And then they start to maybe think, well, maybe I'll just try a little bit, and I'll get rid of a few things. And all of a sudden they hop to stage 2, and they're like, wow, I can do this. This is doable. I can make these changes. And then they progress up the ladder. Would I please briefly explain the stages? Absolutely. Absolutely. Let me go through them again. And thank you for hopping on. This is tricky. Okay. So here are my stages. How can I get this to look proper? Okay. So the first stage is denial, right? Denial is where you don't care about the clutter, and you're not interested in making any changes. And people who are hoarders and who really don't see that they have a problem, they are in stage 0 is what I call it. And most of the people that are going to be interested in this topic are not in stage 0. So you're already past stage 0, and that's something to celebrate. So that's stage 0, denial. Then stage 1 is called awakening. And that's where you start to decide, I don't like what's going on. I don't like the state of my house. And I'm overwhelmed by it, but I don't necessarily know what to do about it. And so you're looking for information, you're looking for help, and you're trying to make some changes. So that's called awakening. And then stage 2 is activation. And that is where you're getting busy and you're doing small projects. And maybe you've gone through the 10-minute decluttering challenges that I have in our Facebook group. And you're just starting to get a real feel for what it feels like to declutter, and you're seeing, hey, there's hope here. I can do this. It's not as bad as I thought, and feels really good to take action. That's stage 2. And then stage 3 is called execution. And that is where you're getting busy and you're like a machine, and you're getting rid of all kinds of stuff, and things are getting cleaned up, and you're taking loads and loads and loads of stuff to donate, or you're selling them, or maybe they're just going in the trash if they need to. But you're making some really big changes. And then the last stage of decluttering is called freedom, and that's stage 4, and that is where you've gotten rid of most of your clutter, and you're not overwhelmed by it anymore, and life just kind of functions at a very easy level. And if you do bring clutter into the home, or somebody brings clutter into your home, it's not a big deal, and you can just deal with it and move on, and it doesn't derail you, and it's not depressing. And you've got systems in place to help handle things like the laundry and the dishes and gifts and things like that. So that's the progression. And what I was saying at the beginning of the video is that you don't have to go all the way up the top of the ladder. You don't have to go all the way to stage 4 if you don't want to. You might be perfectly happy if you go from stage 1 to stage 2. That might be all you need to do to solve whatever issues you're dealing with. Or you might find yourself going to a couple more levels. But the important thing is to realize that as long as you're making progress, and as long as you can see what's right ahead of you at the next stage, you will feel so much better than as opposed to looking at and trying to get to the very end of the finish line of this path without going through those different stages. So overwhelmed, but definitely not into now. Awesome. That's great. Just like thinking about it and reading about decluttering and seeing what other people are doing is so helpful and effective. It's kind of shocking how much you can change your own mindset just by listening to other people process what they're doing. So that's a really important part of the work that I see people doing, is just listening to other people and encouraging them or giving them suggestions on how to handle their clutter. That can be surprisingly helpful for you as you're deciding how to handle your own stuff, especially if you're not quite ready to make a change or you're really overwhelmed. Just encouraging someone else is real helpful, which is kind of counterintuitive for me. I don't know, kind of cool. So those are my thoughts on the 4 stages, or 4 or 5, actually 5 stages of decluttering. And again, Decluttering School and the Household Paperwork course are only available until this Friday. So you really have to decide if you wanted to join and jump in on that with us this week. We are going to be going through the course live in the Facebook group. So it's going to be a lot of fun. Mary Fran said, I think I'm in all 5 stages depending on the area. Okay, that works. I didn't catch. Yeah. Yeah, I guess it depends. I mean, you might have one area that's super under control and then another that's not. But if that's the case, then it probably wouldn't take too much work to get those areas that are not doing so well back under control for you, I would guess. But that's all I have for you guys today. I hope this is helpful. And I will come back to the comments later if you have any more comments or questions. And I am definitely always online in Declutter My Home. So if you'd like to join us over there, that would be really great. All right, have a wonderful afternoon.